welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah and Terrence.
Oh.
All right, so if you are wanting to avoid spoilers for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and there are legitimate spoilers for this game that is 23 years old, skip ahead 10 minutes, let's say. We'll put the hard clock on 10 minutes to talk about. So that 10 minutes starts now.
52 hours, 48 minutes, 49 seconds. That's how long it took me to get through this game. I like Final Fantasy VII. I like it. I love the way it plays. There's some serious pacing issues, especially chapters like 16 and 17.
Oh, do you think there's pacing issues in a game that you had to spend 52 hours in Midgar? Do you think that might be something that's a possibility?
It is. It's wild, but for 90% of this game, I equated it when I first started playing to the novelization of a movie, right? Like if Final Fantasy VII, the game that came out 20 some odd years ago, is the movie, this is the novelization of that movie. It's a little longer, a lot longer. It goes into a lot of detail and minutia that you might find interesting. You might think makes the game bloated, right? But it is there. And then you get to the end and what? So the ending of this game, you fight Sephiroth, which is weird because I don't remember even seeing Sephiroth 20 some odd years ago in the Midgar portion, right? You fight a lot of people that you don't fight in the game, right? You fight Rufus in this game, who looks ridiculous.
You fought Rufus for 5 minutes in the original.
No, you fight in Midgar?
Mm-hmm.
You fight Rufus and Darkstar.
When he comes in on the helicopter,
okay,
fight him in his office, and then he runs away like a chicken shit. So
okay, well, you fight him on the helipad here, and Rufus is he's got the weirdest outfit on, man. He's got like a coat with like he looks like an edgelord, right? But not the king of the edgelords. You fight the king of the edgelords after that fight. The game gets really like boss heavy at the end, like it's like a gauntlet. And then you fight Sephiroth. You're like, well, why do you fight Sephiroth? Well, throughout the game, there have been these things called whispers throughout the game, these shadowy spirits. They, for white people, they look like the things from Lord of the Rings, and for black people they look like the dark specters that drag the bad guys to hell and ghosts, right? Because Whoopi Goldberg's like, you in danger, girl. And all the black people, the black guy who killed Patrick Swayze, he gets taken away by them dark apparitions, no pun intended. And they're throughout the game, and sometimes you have to fight them, sometimes they don't do anything, but there's a reason why they're there. In the Shinra office, in the game before, President Shinra is killed by a 6 foot tall Masamune samurai sword. This time you just straight up see Sephiroth stab the dude in the back, right? But he also stabs Barrett in the chest, and Barrett dies. But
what?
Barrett,
hang on, Terrence. Buckle your safety belt.
Barrett dies, but one of these whispers comes and brings Barrett back to life because Barrett is not supposed to die. So these whispers, as it turns out, are trying to make sure that the game you're playing happens the same way it did 23 years ago. But Sephiroth is here, and he's trying to make sure, he's trying to stop it. And then you see a flashback of, or is it, all right, look. this game has multiple timelines now, right? Final Fantasy VII exists on multiple planes of existence, right? And from what I can gather, there are 3 different planes of existence. One, the original game that played out exactly the way you remember it. The PS4 timeline, in which Sephiroth and Aerith most likely know what happened in the PS1 timeline, but Sephiroth is trying to stop it. Much like Thanos in Endgame, he's like, these heroes aren't trying to stop me, they're trying to stop something that I have done. Sephiroth tries to undo what happened in the PS1 timeline in the PS4 timeline. But there's another timeline that is the PS1 timeline, but Zack lives. Zack is the character Zack is one of Cloud's cohorts. Zack dies and Cloud picks up Zack's Buster Sword. The same Buster Sword that you see Cloud with is Zack's Buster Sword.
Right.
And he gets experimented on by Hojo, and Zack's memories and Cloud's memories are kind of the same, but they're different. He's alive. But Zack's not supposed to be alive, because if Zack is alive, then the events of Final Fantasy, the PS1 version, don't play out the way they're supposed to. So there's the 3 different timelines. You're fighting these whispers because these whispers are trying desperately to keep the PS1 timeline the way it's supposed to be, but you kill the whispers, and now shit is just like, oh shit, oh well. We don't know what's happening now. And Aerith is like, yo, before you go and fight Sephiroth, you need to know that I don't know what's about to happen here. And you see flashbacks of things that happened in the PS1 timeline. Like you see Cloud at the pool, right? Where he normally has Aerith, who has just been murdered, but you don't see Aerith, right? You don't see Aerith because maybe she dies, maybe she doesn't. Who knows? Nobody knows. You go, you fight Sephiroth to a stalemate, then Sephiroth teleports you to the fucking moon or whatever, and to the edge of creation, and he's like, hey, basically they replay the fight from the end of the PS1 version, only Sephiroth has a shirt on this time. Before he was like, I'm gonna take my fucking shirt off because I'm fucking hot, right? And this is the fight that they have in that time period, only sped up, right? But no, Sephiroth knows that he's supposed to die right then. So he's like, nah, not today, Cloud. Bam, get out of my face, right? You didn't want to make a deal with me to change destiny. So, and this is some more shit, destiny and fate and destiny and the destiny of fate and all this bullshit, right? Yo, it's wild. It's wild. But there are 3 different there's multiple timelines now in Final Fantasy VII. And there are 3 different timelines that I can piece together, right? The PS1, the PS4, and the PS1, but Zack is alive, so who the fuck knows? And it just kind of ends. Like,
yeah, it's like you step through a time portal and it's like, roll credits, see you next time in 3 years.
Yeah.
When the fucking game comes out.
Yeah. Because Cloud wants to kill Sephiroth, and everyone else is like, all right, fuck it, I'm in. Barrett's like, well, if he wants to destroy the planet, well, any enemy on the planet is an enemy of mine. So I'm just going to go and help you murder this guy who's trying to destroy the planet. And it's weird, but I don't hate it. I'm actually I'm of 2 minds, right? Like, I love the idea of subverting fans' expectations, and this is something that's going to be new, right? This isn't Final Fantasy Remake. It's not Final Fantasy Remake Episode 1. It's literally Final Fantasy has been remade, right? It's Final Fantasy reimagined, and I am excited at the possibility of changing this story, right? But at the same time, I like that concept, but at the same time, I really like the concept of the first Kingdom Hearts, and then they just went batshit crazy. So, so I'm expecting a ton of fucking bullshit with the next iteration of Final Fantasy, but I will give it a shot. Now, if there's just like a bunch of BS and like, and here's Ansem and Organization 13 and all that shit, if all that shit is in the next version of Final Fantasy VII Reloaded and Final Fantasy VII Revolutions or whatever Matrix bullshit they try, I'm gonna be out. And like, I'm excited, but I'm excited as I have ever been for the Final Fantasy VII story because it's something different.
That was perfect because you said that right at 10 minutes. So now people who decide to skip ahead 10 minutes are going to be like, oh my God, I wonder what they were talking about. What an insightful thing. I will say, without going into more spoiler territory, because like I said, we're past our 10-minute buffer. I'm surprised more fans didn't, or really any fans. I haven't really seen anyone come out.
Oh, people are upset.
Oh, people are? Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't
people
seen.
People are very upset. People are very upset because, you know,
right? Because it's not.
This isn't what I was promised.
Right?
Fuck off. Promised.
Yeah, they promised you a remake of a 20-something-year-old game. They
And
didn't say
you
they was gonna.
got it.
They didn't say they wasn't gonna change the story.
You got it. You got Cloud and Tifa and Bear. You got it. They said they're gonna redo the Midgar part, and they sure as shit redid the Midgar part. So I'm excited for it, but
Yeah.
I'm nervous also.
Completely understandable. And this is great now for the fans of the series, because now you're gonna get like 10 other mini spin-off games on other platforms that are just a bunch of nonsense. And it'll probably take 20 years for the third version to come out.
Exactly.
I would imagine. So
it's going to take 20 years and like 2 console generations before you finally get the story to be completely finished.
There you go. That's what they'll do. They'll do like the Yuffie part will be like a spin-off game that'll come out for the iPhone or something like that. you can do it on. That's what they'll do. Oh my goodness. Terrence, you have another fighting game to talk about. The critically acclaimed Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Yes, they had the collector's edition, or whatever I want to call it, for 20. So I picked it up. It gives you the access to season 1 characters, which is 3 extra characters. I don't know anybody's name in this game. Red Ranger, Blue Ranger, Green Ranger, and a bunch of fucking enemies. It's a good game. It's a great fighting game. It's like an old school fighting game. I've watched it. I don't know if either of you have watched any tournaments, any gameplay. This game, in this game, I think everyone has a touch of death combo.
Jesus.
Everyone. Like, if you make one mistake, you're gonna lose a character. You just are. I'm not at that level yet. Like, I can knock off maybe 70% if I touch you. But it's fun. It's super simplistic. It's got a light, heavy, hard, and a special button. There are no inputs. There are no like special inputs, no dragon punches, no fireballs. It's just forward special, back special, and just special. Mm-hmm. Every character has 3 specials, 1 super and 1 like EX super. But with that setup, like, it's pretty intuitive. Like, you can pull off some pretty sick shit. It's very responsive. It's a good game. I'm shocked. I mean, it started from like, it was trash when it first came out. It was like, but since it's been out for a year now, so all the updates have improved the game drastically, to the point where, yeah, it's an old school fighting game, and inputs and execution is king in this game. It's a Power Rangers game, but like, if you don't execute properly, you're just gonna drop all your combos.
It's funny because I looked up to see who developed it real quick, and the developer is almost like a no-name developer. Like, they like
anyway.
Before this they developed another Power Rangers game, which I'm sure was probably not good.
It was a mobile game,
and then a game called Chrono Blade, which was a 2D free-to-play online game is how it's described. It looks like an action RPG is how it was described online. So that's interesting that this, like I said, pretty much no-name developer is able to roll out a by your account, pretty decent fighting game.
It's a very good fighting. They clearly love the source material. And they use GGPO rollback. The online is better than anything Capcom has put out in the last 10 years. It is. Like, remember Skullgirls? Skullgirls used the same shit, GGPO. Like, that game was really good online. Like, for Capcom wanted to create its own online because they don't want to adopt GGPO for some reason, and it's always garbage. But this is like, this game, it's almost like playing next to somebody online. It's fucking, and it's Power Rangers.
Are you ready to be inundated with Power Ranger fans coming to you to talk about Power Ranger lore, with them not paying attention to the fact that you just like good fighting games and they think you're a Power Ranger fan now?
But in the group?
Anywhere. Anyone that's listening to this, they're going to
don't come to me about Power Rangers anything. I watched the first season. I don't know nothing about nothing. I just like fighting games. I don't give a fuck what the property is. If the game is fun, I enjoy it. It's like Dragon Ball. I don't know shit about Dragon Ball, nigga. Like, I just like fighting games.
I'd imagine Power Ranger lore is probably as or more complicated than Dragon Ball.
There's a story mode in that game. And I'm like, who the fuck is Lord Draken? Apparently that's Tommy in a different universe.
All right, yo, shut up.
Who never became good when what's his name? I was like, okay. Whatever. Sure. Just let me fight. That's a great game. It's really fun. And it's $20. There's 2 seasons though. Seasons are $15 a piece if you want to unlock the other characters.
Well, it's a good thing that you found that, because new releases this week, there's nothing. There's nothing coming out this week. I mean, there are games coming out, but nothing worth highlighting this week in new releases.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Shit.
Yeah, what the fuck? What's going to be coming out within the next like month or two?
Last of Us. And Ghost of Tsushima as well.
What, in June?
Ghost of Tsushima come out?
Those both come out next month?
July, and then last was coming out in May, or in June rather.
Oh, that's right.
So got that to look forward to.
Back. So
sure.
You got nothing.
Ghost of Tsushima. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't really care about The Last of Us.
I so like I said, I spoiled the story for Last of Us. I find it funny.
Oh, all right. You're gonna have to tell me.
I find it very funny what happens.
You have to tell me what happens when we get off, because we want to be respectful to the people that have never seen children. Man, go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe. You can see Terrence's background of the week, apropos of what we were discussing earlier. It is Midgar, and it's Midgar minus the Sector 7 plate. So you got the Midgar that murdered a bunch of people at the bottom.
Well.
Yeah, people who die in the original. Maybe they die, maybe they don't. Yeah, you can see his background of the week. He's going to have different ones every week. I like this gimmick. It's befitting. Go to you're listening to this on some sort of podcatcher, right?
Unless you're watching on YouTube.
Unless you're watching on YouTube. But you should listen to it on your cell phone with a podcatcher also. You should quite frankly take your cell phone and your friend's cell phone and your mom and your dad and your siblings, and you should go to their podcatching app and subscribe to this show as well as all of the TNP studio shows, including the Nerdpocalypse, the flagship show, Black on Black Cinema. We will be reviewing Girls Trip very soon. Coming Distractions, the contemporary movie review show podcast, when we get to go to movies again.
Whenever the fuck that is.
And
If
probably
ever.
probably sometime next year. And the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. That preview episode generally cuts off around the 60-minute mark, and I'll tell you why after I tell you to go to densepixels.com/premium. For $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to the premium side of the podcast, including the airing of grievances, our Seinfeld movie review show. Rest in peace to Jerry Stiller. No Time to Bleed, our action movie review podcast. The Men with the Golden Tongues. It has the most words in the title because it is the best. But no slouch, upstage conversations. You get to hear Carrie speak on Carrie and guests speak on various musicals and movie musicals. You also get the full episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Now, there is a reason that the preview episode stops at around 60 minutes, right? One is to give you a taste of all that wonderful political commentary from Jay, Andy, and sometimes Brad. Now, Brad was on this week. I just finished listening to it, and it was a very excellent episode. But you're going to want to get premium because literally at minute 61 and 50 seconds, Brad posits an idea that just gets floated out there about someone in the West Wing maybe needing to, I don't know. You know what? I don't even want to say it.
Nor did I until we crossed the Rubicon of 60 minutes.
There are certain things that you are not going to hear unless you subscribe. So go to densepixels.com/premium and subscribe.
So we talked about the Power Rangers fighting game. Mortal Kombat 11 ain't done yet either. To celebrate, I guess it's right around their 1-year anniversary, pretty much.
Yeah, came out last June, May or June.
Yep. They're for the first time ever, they're doing a story expansion for the game. It's called Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. It's going to have a brand new story that will be sort of an epilogue of sorts to the main story from Mortal Kombat 11. It's also going to, for the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, since Mortal Kombat 2, bring back friendships into the game for the first time. So instead of ripping, your opponent's spine from their body, you can do something really nice for them at the end of the match, and those are always very funny. And then finally, this new expansion is also adding a new character, none other than Peter Weller voiced RoboCop is going to be the newest character in the Mortal Kombat fighting lineup. You guys played Mortal Kombat 11. I did not.
No, I didn't.
Well,
No, I played the free trial.
Okay. Well, Micah played a considerable amount of Mortal Kombat 11. Micah, is this news going to get you back into MK11 to check out the new content?
Is it free?
Normally,
it's not free. How much does it cost?
Normally, so they have free aspects, right? The friendships are free,
right?
And I think that's it. Oh, and the stages are free.
Okay.
The friendships are free, the stages are free, and I believe the stage fatalities are free. The Deadpool is one of this new stages, the new old stages.
Right.
And they show the fatality. What is not free is the story content or the 3 characters, Shiva, Fujin, and RoboCop. Now, normally I would, because the Mortal Kombat story is stupid, but it harkens back to like the 90s Chopsaki, Bloodsport and Big Trouble in Little China and Bloodsport and Enter the Dragon had an orgy, and some weird, Santorum was created, and then it grew up. It would be Mortal Kombat, right? And the story is what it is. I enjoy it, but this content is $40.
Nigga, what? No.
You get story. We don't know how long the story is. And you get three characters that I'm not going to play. Right? So now that's for people who already have Mortal Kombat. Dummies like me who already bought it. If you do not own Mortal Kombat, you could get everything for $60.
All of it?
Everything Mortal Kombat 11 you can get for $60.
So if I understand what you're saying, you and others like you who purchased Mortal Kombat on release day and then also kicked out an extra $40 for the combat pass to get the new characters are being punished for your loyalty and patronage. Whereas people that are late to the dance are rewarded with their patience and frugality.
Yep.
Yo, for real?
Yeah.
So like if you bought when Mortal Kombat 11 came out, the battle pass was how much? Or the
It was like was it 20?
Isn't that like 20 or 30 bucks?
It was like $20 or $30. It was probably 30.
On top of the 60?
On top of the 60, yes.
So you paid about 90 bucks.
I paid $90. And I don't know if I could pay
But did that give you like Spawn and all them other niggas?
It gave you everything.
Oh.
It gave you everything.
But Terrence, so does this. Like the $60 pack also comes with the extra characters that you paid extra for.
So $60 comes with even this.
Yeah. You get the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath collection, which includes Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath and the combat pack. I think that is $40. The Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath combat pack bundle, which is
what?
There's a bunch of fucking bullshit here, but and one of them comes with some extra skins or some shit. So there's one that's just the Aftermath for people who already have the game. There's one with extra skins, and there's one for $60 that literally has everything that Mortal Kombat 11 has to offer.
Wait, but it sounded like in the description that if you get the $40 Aftermath, you also get the combat pack as well. Is that correct? Because that wouldn't be nearly as egregious if that was the case.
Let me see here. I'm going to try and find prices for this shit. Pre-order Mortal Kombat Aftermath expansion, $40. You get the story expansion, 3 new playable characters, skin packs released over time, and that's it. That's $40. Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath plus combat pack bundle for $50 if you already own the base game but didn't pick up Spawn, Terminator, Joker, Nightwolf, Shang-Chi. That's $50.
Yo, I'm looking at this now on PlayStation, PSN, $49.99. Mortal Kombat Aftermath will be available May 26th. Purchase early and get the Eternal. Aftermath features all new cinematic story, 3 new playable fighters, Shiva, Fujin, and RoboCop, 3 new skins, combat packs, 6 playable characters featuring Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, Terminator T-800, Sindel, the Joker, and Spawn, 6 skin packs, and 7 exclusive skins, $50. Dude, ain't even 60, my nigga.
But again, that's if you own the base game already.
That's if you own the base game.
No, this is the Mortal Kombat 11. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. Yes, I'm telling you, yo. I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, requires Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, that's
right.
Ew.
If I was if I was a guy like Micah who had already kicked out $90 and you're coming to me for an extra $40 for 3 characters and a story, look, I get that story, especially in games like this, are probably the most expensive thing to develop with all the cutscenes and everything that you have to do. But come on, $40 for this?
$40, man. $40
to me.
Like it's not.
So for $10 extra, you get the goddamn game too.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't have anything,
wow.
If you don't have anything Mortal Kombat 11 related, you could pay $60 and get it all. Yeah, come on, man.
Look,
that's egregious as fuck, yo.
At a minimum, the story that's in this game better be as long as the main campaign is in the original Mortal Kombat game.
Well, I will watch it on YouTube and find out because that's ridiculous. $20 is fine for people that have already purchased this thing. 25, okay, but nah, yo, $40.
No, not even, because you paid like $70, $80 for the game and the combat pack
Right.
to get the other 6 characters when it first came out.
I'm just so.
And then another 40. You pay like $110 together with a nigga when I could literally be like, boop, 60. Everything.
And here's everything.
Right. Or wait 2 months and get it for 40 probably.
Right.
So I got Mortal Kombat XL that had everything a couple years ago for like $10.
Yeah. So that's I did not know the price on that.
Wow.
That's wild to me.
That's offensive, you know.
So
I'd be pissed.
And in a game where they have premium paid for currency that you can get. Correct?
I'd be super pissed.
Right. Like
Yo.
Crazy. We're going to talk a little bit more about Xbox later, but I had to kind of split this story out. So they've talked about smart delivery as one of the new features that the new Xbox is going to have, where basically if you buy a game on the Xbox One, and then you eventually get an Xbox One X, that game will download a patch basically that'll give you the X version of the game. Essentially, it'll give you all the features of the Series X rather later on. PlayStation's going to do a similar thing with their games as well. It's an easy, frictionless way to do it. Makes sense. Microsoft's already done it with the difference between the regular Xbox One and then games that have enhancements for the One X, where again it's just a content download that you have to get the extra stuff. And that's a smart way to do it. Well, EA has never found a good idea that they couldn't completely fuck up. So most publishers are subscribed to like the smart delivery program, or at least ones that have said anything about it so far, where they're going to do the easy upgrade. Two notable games that said they're going to do it are Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed. Makes sense. Not everyone's going to get a 1X or Series X. That's going to fuck me up, by the way, forever. No one's going to get a Series X on day, or not as everyone's going to get a Series X on day one. So you want to be sure that if you buy one of those games, that later on you'll be able to play the best version of it without having to rebuy the game again. Very logical, very sensible. So the way that EA is doing it, and they just announced this for Madden 21, but I'm assuming that it's going to probably bleed into all of the other games as well, is that in order to get the upgrade for Madden 21, if you have an Xbox One and then you buy a Series X later on, and this is important because Madden 21 is coming out before the Series X comes out, just FYI, you can do it, but you have to purchase Madden 21 by December 31st, 2020, and then you have to redeem an upgrade by March 31st, 2021. So if for some reason you come late to the Madden party and you buy the game on sale when you still have an Xbox One in like January or February of next year, and then like for your birthday your mom gives you a Series X in July or August, and you're still playing Madden before the next one comes out, and you want to upgrade, tough shit. You bought the Xbox One version, and you're stuck with that version until the new one comes out, and then you can buy that instead.
Wow.
And are they going to do the same thing with the new version? Like, what the fuck?
What do you mean with the new version?
Well, you said Madden 2021 is going to be coming out, and you have to buy it before December 31st, and then you have to redeem it before whatever the fuck to get the Xbox X version.
Yeah.
Is that how they're going to go do it from now on?
Well, I mean, there's no
or EA.
There's no impetus to worry about that for now because Madden 22 will come out on day and date for the Series X. So if you want the Series X version, you can buy.
No, but I mean, other games are going to be coming out next year, and it's going to have the same smart delivery. Not everyone's going to have the new systems.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Who the fuck, Terrence?
What the fuck kind of nonsense is that?
What they're going to do as far as that goes? No, next year they'll probably be like, "Hey, here's the Xbox One version. Here's the Series X version. Buy the one you want, and if you get a Series X later, you can give us another $60. Thanks. Have a great day." And to be fair, this is the first generation that we've had where this situation has presented itself. Like when you went from a 360 to an Xbox One, if you bought those games before when they came out on 360 and then you got an Xbox One, you were buying them all again. Like that's something that happened.
Yeah.
But when everyone else is doing the smart delivery thing, why the fuck you gonna be like?
Why you gotta be the fucking problem child? Yeah.
Right. Like,
For real, that don't make no goddamn sense.
That's wild to me.
Like one of the most successful goddamn developers or publishers, and then you gotta. Corporations are just the worst. They really are. Like, yo, just come on, man.
Activision's not even going to do this shit for Call of Duty, man. Like they're probably just going to be like,
they're like, whatever. Call of Duty, we sell fucking $300 million a day every in the first day every year. Whatever. Don't give a fuck. What's it like? Microsoft, you can when you buy a game on like the Xbox, don't you get it on everything, even the PC?
I believe you do get a PC version. Yeah.
Right.
Well, of their games, that's not
of their games. You have to, of their games, and you have to play it through their launcher and all that. But yeah, you get it. But whatever, you get it.
Right. That's crazy, man. They always got to be the fucking hard-headed ass niggas. I swear, it's just annoying.
We have a new system in place that is making things easy, and EA again. They just got to be EA. Just don't be that way. Seriously. And again, it's not only gonna be sports games. Like if Battlefield comes out before the Series X releases, the same shit's gonna happen. Well, no, actually, that's not due till next year. I don't think.
Didn't they shut down the service of Battlefield 5, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah.
Really?
I think they're completely shut down.
Why? That shit just came
not
out
unless
like a year and a half ago.
I might be tripping.
I think you are. Are you sure you're not talking about Battlefield 3?
No.
Because why would they shut down the servers for 5? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
The Battlefield. Maybe they didn't.
I would find that really hard to believe if they did. Because, like I said, that game literally came out 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was 2018. Because that bombed the same year that bombed relatively to what their expectations were when Fallout 76 came out. So the only reason I remember because those things were cluttering up the fucking drawers at GameStop because of course we ordered copies like the thing was gonna be a huge fucking success, and it was not, or at least not in retail. It wasn't. So TGS is the latest show to announce that they are forced to cancel their convention because of COVID-19. They do plan on doing an online event that's going to be happening sometime. They haven't given details on that yet. They said later this month they will have more things to know. Obviously, this is a big deal, just as big a deal as E3 and Gamescom as well. A shade under 300,000 people attended the event in 2018, which is a fucking lot. So it'll be interesting to see what they put together here, but this shouldn't be surprising to anyone that's been paying attention to world events that have been going on lately. Ubisoft is doing a digital event as well. Now, notably, I don't think this is part of the Jeff Keighley Fest that's going on. I think they're one of the few publishers that have held out for being involved with this, but they're going to be doing a quote E3 style digital showcase that's happening on the 12th of July. I'm sure of all the different digital showcases that all these companies are going to be doing, Ubisoft will be the most lame, one would assume, given regular history. But things to look out for, obviously, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, which we've heard fucking nothing about since they delayed.
Yeah, I forgot about that game completely.
Rainbow Six Quarantine and Gods and Monsters, and then Skull and Bones, which was supposed to come out, I feel like forever ago as well. It's just been delayed into infinity. So excited for the Ubisoft live stream spectacular?
I'm never excited for their presentations. I just want to play Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. Like, that's it. Everything they do just feels like it feels like foreigners trying desperately to assimilate, but they just can't. Like, and they're trying to relate, like, hey, everybody. Hey there, American Joe. We got superstar legendary actor Joel McHale to come and present things to do. And I think Joel McHale's funny. He ain't Tom Cruise. Get the fuck out of here. You know? like we're rolling out the red carpet for Joel McHale. Yeah, I just want to see what Assassin's Creed. I want to see what Assassin's Creed Valhalla actually looks like.
more on that later.
Yeah.
And just any information on Watch Dogs is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that game was supposed to come out a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I remember pre-ordering it, and then they were like, "Yeah, we don't know when this is coming out, so here's your money back." They didn't give me an option to just keep it. Like, nah, we don't know if it's even coming out, so you just take your money back.
Crazy wild. Finally, in the news, big announcement today that has quite a few people excited. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 are coming out in a remaster on September 4th, the PS4, PC, and Xbox One. It's being done by Vicarious Visions, who did the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, which came out really well. It was very critically acclaimed by a lot of folks. And apparently, only a small handful of songs from the original soundtrack of the game did not make it into the mix here. I know that crucially was very important to a lot of people, because the soundtracks for especially the early Tony Hawk games are much beloved by a lot of folks. There's going to be local split screen. There's going to be online multiplayer. It's still going to have the Creative Park and the Creative Skater modes the original game had. They said the Creative Park mode is going to be much more updated for modern times. You'll be able to share your parks online with your friends. All in all, from the press release at least, it seems like something that's going to be very exciting for fans of those old Tony Hawk games that came out on the PS1. I did not play Tony Hawk at all. Skateboarding, oh God, no. Skateboarding was not at all my thing growing up. And so I had no compulsion to play those games as well. But I know that these games in particular are much loved by a very large sect of folks who played during this time.
Yeah, both of them. Didn't they do this already?
They might have done like
they did like an HD upgrade like an upres like 4 years ago, didn't they? I swear to God they did.
That's not what this is.
This is like a complete remake. This looks dope. Look, I don't know.
I'm excited.
I'm 20-some years old. I just want to see how it plays.
Yeah.
If it plays like the original, then that's fine. Like, because they started doing some wild shit once they started getting later on in the games. I'm like, yo, this is not fun.
I don't want them to muck it up, right? Like, I don't want it to be too easy, but I don't want it to be like uber hard either. Like, there's a balance that needs to happen with this game, but I remember really enjoying it. Like, it's basically SSX tricky.
Yeah.
Right, Brad? Like, it's if you need a point of reference, it's all about nailing tricks and combos and shit. That's why the skaters could, fucking when you I don't know what the skater terminology is, ollie off a ramp or whatever. They go like 40 feet in the air because you gotta, and it's all about just chaining tricks together.
This was before SSX.
Yeah, this was
so SSX pretty much they got the idea from this. Yeah. No, they're fun games. Like, if you like, I didn't skate either, but I just like the games.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck. One of the questions in the post office is, who was your favorite skater? Spider-Man. I don't know who these people are. I just remember Spider-Man was in Tony Hawk 2, and I loved playing as Spider-Man because you could flip the skateboard, and then he would use pull it back. Spider-Man. That's who I want to play as. And I'm going to be very upset if Spider-Man, the professional skater that he is not in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. I'm going to be real mad.
Well, again, the most recent things that Vicarious Visions did was the Crash Insane Trilogy and the Crash Team Racing remake that came out last year. Both of those were very well received. Like, people that were fans of those games like raved about how good the ports are for them. I know none of us particularly care for Crash Bandicoot all that much, but there's a lot of folks that do. And they said,
I've only played one Crash Bandicoot game, and that was the mini game in Uncharted 4. That was my first and only time playing a Crash Bandicoot game.
Of note to you guys, Vicarious Visions also a lifetime ago developed Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 as well.
Oh,
I know I recognize that fucking company name.
Yeah.
Wait, 2?
Yeah, boo.
Oh.
I don't like 2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, it just kind of it was stripped down.
Yeah,
it stinks.
I mean, these guys have been the port company for pretty much their entire existence. Like their whole existence, with the exception of a few games here and there, have been porting games to other consoles, essentially. So we'll see what they can put together here.
Terrence, you are 100% correct. In 2012, Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD was released.
Right. So they're just redoing it. Well, they're just remaking it. It looks way better now, but like, okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Spider-Man in all of his 4K glory.
Maybe that'll be PlayStation exclusive content.
What if it's the PS4 Spider-Man? Hey, I'd be with that. I'd be down with that. Look, go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases, because when you go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases, every purchase that you make will give us a little bit of a finder's fee. You don't pay anything extra. Let's go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon right now to see what my most recent order was. So when you go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon, you can get yourself a VTech child's toy cell phone, because you have a wife that constantly gives her phone to your 1-year-old. And when your 1-year-old tries to grab your phone, he pitches a fit, because as the responsible parent, you're not going to give him your $1,000 iPhone. So you can get a VTech touch and swipe baby phone in orange, and it makes all beeps and boops, and the kid can, do whatever kids do with things that go beep and boop. I'm not judging. I play video games. All they do is go beep and boop. But yes, go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases.
So Microsoft had a stream that they did last week, and this is essentially kind of their E3 presentation that we would have seen had E3 been a thing that was happening this year.
That's a shame.
There was a lot of expectations coming into this, because this is kind of our first insight as what this is going to look like when other companies are doing it, especially in this the world of Zoom or Microsoft Teams, as it was for this specific live stream, of course. They promised gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Whoever promised that doesn't know what the phrase gameplay means.
They should be fired.
Because they certainly did not show gameplay. They showed a trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla that was running in game, but it was not gameplay. That I think was the thing that disappointed me the most with this whole segment, is that they just ran a shitload of trailers. Like, we didn't get to see any demos. We didn't get to see, any actual gameplay of most of these games. I guess we did, like Bright Memory Infinite, which was a new game that they announced, which is an upgrade of a PC game that's kind of like a gun version of Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry. So that they actually showed like gameplay, but not like a live demo. Like,
that's maybe about one person, by the way,
which blows my mind.
That shit is insane.
This game, Bright
Memory Infinite, yeah.
Yo, what the hell?
But yeah, like everything else was just a fucking trailer. They announced a lot of new stuff. I'll run through the list. There's a game called Call of the Sea, which is a first-person
On a bunch of, I
game.
mean,
No, no,
but
no.
as opposed to some guy trying to be hip in a sport jacket and jeans coming in there and talking about how good you don't want that guy. You
I don't
want
want that either. I want to
to
see what the game looks like.
right, but we more often than not get a bunch of trailers, right? Because nothing's ever ready at E3,
Yet it
right?
don't
So
come.
I didn't. So
For real.
I didn't get a chance to see all of these. I'll probably go back and watch them.
Don't bother. Ain't nothing to see. Like seriously, there's nothing to see.
I mean, he's right. Like there's a game called Chorus that came out, which just gives
It
a
just
very
looked like
broad
a
overview.
fucking Tool video.
Right.
Like it's fucking weird.
That was Scorn, actually. You're thinking,
Oh right, I'm sorry. Whatever. Scorn, Chorus, whatever.
There's Scarlet Nexus.
I don't even know what. I don't remember that one.
It was that Japanese-looking game that they showed.
Oh, the anime one. Right.
Yeah. Micah, Dirt 5. There's a trailer for. You can be excited about Dirt 5.
A bunch of
Driving around
cars driving in
dirt.
dirt.
Yeah. Madden 21 didn't even really bother showing Madden 21. They showed like a retrospective of the Madden series up until this point, and then
it was piss poor. Yeah.
Right, they had Patrick Mahomes like, "Hey, Madden 21's coming out, guys," and we said, "Hey, Patrick Mahomes, you're not even the cover athlete this year."
Right, they don't even have the cover athlete this year. Come on, man.
So there's Second Extinction, which is
I don't even remember that one.
The fake Turok is what I refer to that game as. Dinosaurs.
Scorn looks gross.
Get the fight. Here's the biggest issue, I think. There's a new Yakuza game coming out, Micah, but I'm sure that's also coming to PS4 as well.
Like it's already out in Japan.
Yeah.
Is that the tower defense game or whatever it is?
No, it's the one. It's like the RPG one where you have a bunch of teammates.
Yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah, I've seen this one before because it's very different from every other Yakuza game.
So here's my issue. I watched this event, and aside from the Medium, which is like a psychological horror game that they announced that's coming out, that was the only game that they showed that you could really see like the next genness kind of cutting through. Everything else just looked like an Xbox One game, pretty much.
Well, again, to be fair, right? Like, isn't that what happens with every, during the prisoner exchange that is the new console generation, right? Like you kind of just get like up-resed version. You get up-resed versions of games from the current generation, and then you get games that they were being developed on like dev kits that are I don't know.
I don't know. I don't agree with that because like even leading into the PS4 generation from PS3, I remember so like one of the first PS4 games that I remember seeing that they announced that they showed off early on. Remember when they first showed off Infamous Second Son? And like how much more impressive that looked compared to the original Infamous. And it's because you have a direct point of reference, so that's going to be helpful with sequels and stuff like that. But the problem is that a lot of the upgrades that are made with this generation of games is under the hood stuff. It's processing. It's like in-game textures. It's how lighting works. That doesn't necessarily translate in an easily digestible manner to being, especially for lay folks, like for us, we might be able to notice it just because we are immersed in this shit all the time. But for people like casual gamers, they're gonna see these and be like, this looks like on my Xbox One. Like, why do I need this new system?
I think you've been out of the game for a little too long, and I say that as a person that's been out of the game for a while. You don't remember the customers that you used to get? This looks hard, yo.
Oh no, you're still always gonna have those people. But what I'm saying is that the differences are not as immediately noticed with this generation, or at least with this first stock of stuff that we've seen coming out so far. I mean, you look at something, and not Xbox related, but you look at Ghost of Tsushima. That's a
The game
PS4.
looks amazing.
That looks like a next gen game by itself, but it's coming out on PS4. Like Last of Us 2, for whatever you want to say about it, looks like
really
a
fucking
next gen
good.
game already. Like that game already exists on the current.
Like they're squeezing all of the power that PS4 Pro has, and at the end of its life cycle. Yeah, what all of the shit that I saw, I was like, yo, this does nothing for me. It does. First of all, again, they're trailers, so strike one, like automatically, like fuck off. I don't want to see trailers. I want to see what the game looks like. But the thing is, like this new generation is they're essentially like high-end PCs.
In some ways, yeah.
Right. So they're going to be able to. I mean, how much better are they going to look than like a $3,000 PC rig?
Oh,
or 4,000.
I mean, the ironic thing about that is not the ironic thing, but the PC will always still look
right. And that's the thing, PC Master Race or whatever.
Well, because you can frame rates and all kinds of other.
Yeah, you can uncap the shit to like 144 frames per second. I'm like, nigga, I can't even. All right, calm down.
I don't know how to. My brain doesn't know how to process that.
Like at 60, it looks amazing. Like God of War running at 60 frames per second looks crazy to me. But yeah, I need to see what the game actually looks like, and I don't think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to look that much better than
Odyssey.
I don't.
It's probably going to be like the world, like you said, Brett. The world is probably going to be hyper detailed, right?
Yeah.
But I can't imagine that the actual like character models and like because the actual world is going to look incredible, but at the same time, like
now
who knows what it looks like because
it didn't fucking show anything. Now, if they can get it to run at like a rock solid 60 with all that's going on, which you said under the hood shit, like if they can keep it at 60 frames per second in a giant world, then yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of like the most important shit.
I read a headline saying that 60 frames per second won't be mandated, but the Series X can process up to 120 frames a second.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means, but I know what it means. But I can't imagine
like
that
if you can
see anything like that anytime soon.
If you can go to 120, like your fucking basement needs to be 60.
Yeah,
like come on, yo, like yeah, you got you at this point, yo, you have to shoot for 60 for every game, man.
I don't think that you need to mandate that for like indie developers and stuff like that. I think you should for major development studios. I think.
Well, here's the thing: a lot of indie games, like those games, like the with the like I guess the cartoon art style that a lot of indie games have, they run at 60.
Right, because
there's not a lot to process.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, nah, yo, 60. They're not going to mandate it, but like, no, we're in a new generation, and the goddamn systems can handle it. 60. Like somebody patched, what is that game called? Bloodborne. I was watching a YouTube video, Digital Foundry. Some guy he patched, he uncapped the Bloodborne, and it ran at 720, 60 frames per second. It looks 10 times better. Bloodborne runs at 30. Normally, but he uncapped it to run at 60, and you should check it out. It looks really fucking good. It just looks really good, and it's not even 1080, but it's running at 60. There's a big difference.
As far as the presentation goes, I mean, they basically it was trailer after trailer. I get that we're all doing the fucking Zoom thing right now. I get we're all doing. I mean, we do this shit every week, so we can say we want to about this. I get that we're all at our homes and doing all this stuff. Clean up your backgrounds, guys. You work for fucking and here's the other thing too. I can't remember where I heard. I'm ripping this off from somebody, and I can't remember who. And I'm sorry to not be able to give credit. Microsoft is worth like $1 trillion. Can you not get your people some decent audio to record on? Buy them a fucking Yeti, man. Like, why the fuck are they using these shitty like desktop headset microphones for your flagship presentation for your next generation game console? It sounds like shit.
Like, yeah, when we have better equipment than Microsoft does to record, that's a goddamn shame.
Right. Jesus.
Like,
Christ.
come on, yo. You
Okay.
could have sent them that shit. God damn.
Jay cares more about his product than fucking Microsoft cares about
Right.
theirs.
Get your people a decent microphone, a decent camera, and a green screen, and make it look good. Like, you don't have to be, just because you're stuck at home doesn't mean you have to look like you're some fucking mom and pop company that doesn't. You got money. You got money to burn. You want people to buy your next gen console and it's looking like fucking garbage. Get the fuck out of here. Don't record this shit in your bedroom. What are you doing? I don't need to see your laundry hamper in the background. Fuck out of here. I'm sorry.
Well, one guy had a background. He had like an Xbox as his refrigerator or some shit like that, right?
I don't even know. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Like when your main dude is like sitting at his desk doing the guy who's like, I don't usually have to do teleconferencing, so like my laptop is at a fucked up angle and I'm just using the webcam that's built in and I'm kind of hovering over the computer and I'm way too close to the lens and all. Like that's your main like VP. Like that's your main dude. He's the first guy you see. He sounds like shit. Come on. You're better than that, Microsoft. I mean,
Yeah, we would like to think so.
Fuck's sake, Sony put Mark Cerny in front of a fake crowd, in front of like a Mystery Science 3000 audience when he's doing his fucking PlayStation presentation. They care, damn it.
Oh shit.
What are you doing?
It was very underwhelming.
It was incredibly underwhelming.
Wow.
And they heard about it. That like all I heard people on Twitter talking about in games Twitter was how amazingly disappointing that presentation was. The biggest reason of which is because they talked about showing gameplay, and they didn't. So Aaron Greenberg, he's the Xbox Games Marketing General Manager. He's the guy that I talked about. Was the first dude you see in the live stream that needs to upgrade his setup. And he said that, quote, Microsoft set some wrong expectations about what would be shown and said, quote, that's on us.
Yeah, it is. The fuck? Yeah, you said you were going to show gameplay of a game and you didn't. You lied.
You pretty much did.
You fucking lied. Like, that's all it is. Like, you got to own that shit.
And like, from what I'm even looking at here, like, it's not even like the fake like gameplay, like
right.
Like
it's like
Killzone or that first Watch Dogs. Like, oh yes, this is gameplay. Yeah. No, yo.
It's like vistas. That's all it is. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, fine, cool. Like, I didn't watch it live. I watched it. I didn't really hear anything about it. I watched it. I was like, I just knew that they said they were going to show gameplay, and so I turned it on, watched it on YouTube, and I was like, this is the same shit I've seen for the last 30 years. What is this? Like, nothing is. I'm not interested in anything that you just showed me.
On Twitter,
and y'all are getting on my fucking nerves.
On Twitter, he said, had we not said anything and just shown May inside Xbox show like we did last month, I suspect reactions might have been different. Yeah, you think? You can't fucking scream from the top of the mountains that you're going to have all this cool shit and then not deliver any of it. And
like, here's a
fucking blowback. What the fuck?
Like, they said that they're going to show gameplay. So they showed that trailer and then they were like, go to such and such for additional footage of this game. The additional footage was the first trailer. I was like, yo, y'all niggas are wildin'. Like, for real? Are you serious right now? Cool. All right. Yeah, they fucked all the way up.
So they have another event in July. Hopefully they can actually do real
gameplay. See what a game looks like.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be
one. At least one.
Wow,
just to see.
This Madden retrospective is literally just a Madden retrospective. Like, it's not.
It is.
Yo, this is. Why do you even do this? This is a waste of fucking time.
No clue.
It really was.
No clue. So we move on to the Dense Pixels Post Office, where you can ask us your questions and we will answer them on the show. Michael says, would Micah ever do a Dense Pixels YouTube show called Ghost Shit, where he plays the scariest of horror games?
I would, but it would have to, one, be a genuinely like scary game. And I don't know if you're going to get the reactions that you think you're going to get. it's basically going to be me going, oh shit, like that, right? Because it's not. I'm not going to do that. You know, when Five Nights at Freddy's had its 15 minutes of fame, everyone couldn't wait to get on the internet and act like an idiot, like,
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
like
Yeah.
that shit is fake. Like you're gonna get genuine reactions from me, and they're not gonna be like wacky and shit. You know what I mean? Like you'll get me like getting hit with jump scares, and then I'll be like, all right, you know what? I'm too stressed out. I can't fucking play this game. Stream over. It's only gonna be like 20 minutes. So
maybe that'll be the stream. Is how long will Micah be able to hang in before he's about to eject from the stream? Place your bets. John says, so with her husband being yeeted off of WWE headquarters, does that mean Zelina Vega is now single? Also, Asuka's reaction to Becky's pregnancy announcement was the most genuine and heartwarming reactions I've ever seen in pro wrestling. So for those not aware, Money in the Bank happened this past weekend. Of course, we talked about the Money in the Bank match happening up WWE headquarters to the roof of WWE headquarters, which was entertaining. Like, it wasn't nearly as good as like the Boneyard match and the Funhouse match were, in terms of how it was laid out, but it was still really fun, in its own way, for sure. They did a good job. Of course, not one but two people got thrown off the roof.
Yeah, I think they could have did a better job with that. Like, we know it's wrestling. Like give it, like, get ridiculous with it, right? Like, show them doing a hip toss off the building, and then cut to a shot of the building and just a very obvious dummy just falling down, right? Like,
I think you could have even just dubbed in like a Wilhelm scream and just done
exactly,
exactly. Just really played it up. I mean, that didn't even last a day. I mean, they literally had Rey Mysterio come on the next day. Like, oh, good thing there was a secondary roof there. Otherwise, that might have really been trouble for us. Me and Aleister Black. So I don't know if you guys watched Raw or heard the news. Becky Lynch is going away for a while because she's pregnant. Which is cool. They had this neat thing where she came out, talked to the fans. She had the Money in the Bank briefcase with her, which Asuka won. For some reason, Asuka came out and she's like, "Oh, you didn't know that you thought you were fighting for the Money in the Bank briefcase, but you were actually fighting for what's inside. You're the champion now." And like that's literally how they played that off. But like I said, she didn't tell people why she was doing it. Like, she just said, "Hey, I'm going away for a while," and then she basically is like, "Oh, Asuka, you go be a warrior, and I'm going to go be a mom." And I don't know if Asuka knew or not. I guess she would have had to, because she would have known that she was going to be getting the championship.
She might. I mean, they might have told her you're going to get the championship, but not
why. Her reaction was really cool though. Like she seemed genuinely shocked.
Yeah, I like Asuka. She don't seem like that good of an actress,
right? But that's cool, and they even kind of used it to do some cool shit with Seth Rollins last night as well.
Is he the father?
Yes, he is. So, but they're not talking about that aspect of it on air, but since everyone knows, like they're kind of playing it into some kind of story where he's like, because he lost his championship match at Money in the Bank, and then because he got hit with this news, he was like in some weird like catatonic state last night, and then tried to like gouge Rey Mysterio's eye out of his body when he like snapped when Rey Mysterio, like, they had a tag match, and he literally spent like the entire match just like standing on the apron, like with the 1,000-yard stare. And then Mysterio like got up in his corner and he just elbowed him, and then he just lost his fucking mind and like was shoving his eye against the corner of the ring steps and shit like that. Like, it was fucking wild. It was fucking wild. So
that's the mentality you want to have as you bring a child.
Right, I'm like, he's gonna be a terrible father.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio kind of
not a good look.
The slightest bit of frustration, and
right.
You want to fucking gouge someone's eyes out. I've been headbutted so many goddamn times. It's not even funny, and it's just like, whatever, bro.
I mean, Rey Mysterio called him a dick. That seemed out of line. Like before that match, like, he was backstage, just kind of, in his own head, and Rey Mysterio, congratulated him, and he just kind of walked away. And Rey Mysterio's like, "God, you dick!" Like, he literally said that shit on camera. It was hilarious. But it's cool. I actually like what they're doing with Seth Rollins' character right now. He's kind of transitioning to like this like delusional cult leader guy on Monday Night Raw, which has been a lot of fun.
He's got a lot of inspiration to draw from.
So Cam says, sure, we're going to cover Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Those games were a huge part of my childhood, and soundtracks influenced my musical taste so much. What games, if any, can you link to your musical taste? I'm talking about needle drop video game soundtracks specifically, not games that have original scores in them.
Oh, needle drops. Ugh.
So games with licensed soundtracks, basically.
I don't listen to the type of music that I listen to is like I will listen to the Street Fighter 3, all 3 versions of the Street Fighter 3 soundtrack, like in my car, right? Because like I really like it, but those aren't considered needle drops, I guess.
I don't even know what games had like licensed music.
Honestly, mostly sports
outside of like sports games, like Madden 2004.
Yeah, like so mine kind of works the other way around, where since I don't really listen to the radio, like video games, weirdly enough, are kind of like my insight to today's music. And there are some games that really have soundtracks that I dig quite a bit. Madden 03 in particular, of all the Madden games, really stood out for me. I know MLB The Show 08 had a really good soundtrack that I liked a lot. FIFA 13 soundtrack is like insanely good. That from the FIFA series is notably for me. And then, like, of course, like anyone in GTA, in Vice City specifically, there's a couple radio stations that I kept it tuned to.
If they were going to talk, you know what?
I'm just going to default to the San Andreas.
Vice City of San Andreas.
Yeah.
I did love the Vice City soundtrack, though, but that's music that I fucking already knew.
Right.
And
that I grew up listening to anyway.
Honestly, like I would listen to the talk radio stations in the because they were funny. So like like you said, I already know the music, right?
Yeah.
So I would just listen to the talk radio stations there. So
yeah, I think the thing is like if it's like I'm almost 40, so like all the music that was already in the game I had already heard.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't introduce me to anything new. But I'm like, oh shit, that song that I know is on here. That's kind of dope. But like aside from that, no. But yeah, the San Andreas and the Vice City soundtracks.
Oh, Gran Turismo 2 also had a really good soundtrack.
I don't remember what the fuck was on there. And those were original songs. Metropolis Street Racer had a really good soundtrack. There's a bunch of songs on there that I liked a lot on the Dreamcast. But those were so I think I don't even know. I don't know. Whatever.
Chris says, do you guys think with it how everyone has embraced Streets of Rage 4 that will get a resurgence of beat 'em ups, or is this a one-time thing? No. Every now and then you'll see a good beat 'em up, but it's not a genre that is popular enough that you're going to see like a deluge of them, I don't think. And one of the reasons Streets of Rage 4 has been so successful is because A, it's really good, and B, there's a lot of folks that love the original games that were willing to give this a chance.
Plus, you haven't seen those characters in however many years, right? Like he says,
27.
He says that people are pushing Capcom to do a Final Fight game, but
yeah, Cody's in Street Fighter 5. He's the mayor.
The whole goddamn cast of Final
Fight Poison
is in a Street Fighter game.
Yeah,
a recent Street Fighter game. So I'm not saying I wouldn't like that, right? Like Final Fight was my go-to beat 'em up,
but there was nothing unique about Final Fight.
Yeah, it really was.
That's the other thing. It's just a beat 'em up. It was just like one of the better ones because it was Capcom. Right. And then the thing about Streets of Rage is like it improved on the beat 'em up, and it had the amazing soundtrack.
Right. Whereas
that they
Final Fight's improvement was Final Fight Streetwise, which
that game is gross.
Yeah.
like, It's horrible.
Well, and again too, like you guys make a good point. In most of those games, most beat 'em ups, like the gameplay is pretty fucking simple. Like there's not too many improvements that most games make on the gameplay in those games. The thing that we love about them is usually like the music and like the characters and stuff.
Yeah. Like Streets of Rage 4, like it's just, I mean, they added a combo system because like you have to. Like because a beat 'em up is just you literally mashing 2 buttons for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Right. Or you have to do like what Dragon's Crown did and add like a whole RPG interface.
Right.
That's the only way that you can keep that fresh as well.
Yeah.
Steve said he worded his question wrong last week. He said the question was, what do you think was the most overhyped game of the generation, which we answered. I think he meant to say, based on his description here, what game do you think is the most overrated game of the generation? What game everyone else liked, but you're just like, this game was bullshit?
This generation?
Yeah. But see, that's a tough one because typically, if we don't like something,
I'm not gonna buy it.
We're not.
If it doesn't look interesting to me, I'm not gonna fucking bother. Yeah, I don't know. Did I play anything that I absolutely hated? I don't think so.
Let's see. I'm trying to find games.
Played a lot of fucking games. Jesus Christ.
Haven't we all? So
that's a tough question.
Yeah, I don't really see too many because, yeah, like you said, I'm not gonna buy a game that. Well, I'll buy a game that I hope to like, but not necessarily because other people say, "Oh, this is amazing."
I mean, honestly, for me, like really, the answer to that question is probably Fortnite. But I also acknowledge that Fortnite is not a game that's really marketed towards me.
I've tried to play Fortnite like 7 times. And each time, like, oh, you should play it. They changed some stuff. I'm like, but can I shoot at a person and instantly have a tower standing in front of me within 30 seconds, within 10 seconds? Yes, then no, I'm not playing that shit because I'm not going to learn how to shoot and build at the same time. My brain can't handle that.
Well, and the other thing about Fortnite is that it's evolved into something more than just a mere game. Like it's almost like a social networking space at this point that just happens to also be a video game.
Did Metal Gear Solid 5, was that rated highly? Because I did not like that game at all.
It was rated fine. People didn't hate it.
I think it was critically acclaimed, but it wasn't. I don't think it ever truly reached the zeitgeist.
I hated it, and I don't know if it's because David Hayter wasn't Snake. I don't know if it was because it was this weird, like these weird open. I don't know.
Metal Gear Solid was not a Metal Gear game.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
MGS5 wasn't a Metal Gear game.
Yeah,
nah.
Like, I didn't hate that. I kind of liked it, but I never finished it because I just got bored. To be honest with you,
I stopped. I remember one scene where you're trying to get out, and there's like a fire all around you, and you're trying to get out of like some sort of house or something like that, and then it opens up to the desert or whatever, and that's it. That's it. I don't even think I meant quiet. Like that's it.
God damn. I at least met her. And then I'm like, yo, I don't give a fuck about what's happening in this game anymore. Right. Where's Solid? Like, he doesn't talk.
Right, he don't talk. You got rid of David Hayter. You got fucking Jack Bauer, and he don't fucking talk.
Yeah.
Nah. MGS5 is my answer to that question.
I don't have an answer. Like, if it's something don't look fun, I'm just like, I'm not gonna bother.
We go to Chris. Chris says, now that a Mass Effect Trilogy remaster has been announced, what features or enhancements are on your wish list and who plans to replay it? Now, it has not been announced. There was a rumor that was built based off of a speculative article from VentureBeat that said that, so EA said they have an HD remaster of a classic game in the works for this year. But they haven't specified what that is. People are just assuming that it's Mass Effect. So don't get that twisted.
It better be Mass Effect now.
Huh?
It better be Mass Effect now.
Well, yeah, after all this shit. As far as features or enhancements, I've been on record by saying that I want the Uncharted trilogy treatment where they retrofit the interface and controls and gameplay of Mass Effect 3 onto the other two games. That's the only way that I'd want to play one again, is if it actually played like a modern game and not like Mass Effect 1.
I actually prefer the way Mass Effect 2 plays as opposed to Mass Effect 3.
I liked the hybrid. Like I liked how 3 was pretty much in between where 1 and 2 was. Like 2 definitely went way too hard to the action side of things, but 1 was way too immersed in its bullshit.
But that's the thing, yeah. I really liked all that stupid ass like let's allocate points here and let's do that.
Mhm.
I like, if you're gonna do that, like I would want that system from 1, but the feel of 2 or 3. Like 3 kind of, like you said, did the hybrid thing, but I don't think they went far enough with it.
Mhm.
Like that's part of the reason that I like that original game, is because it's a real RPG. And then 2 was just an action game, and then 3 was an action RPG, right? Like I liked all that stuff in the first one. The only thing I really have a problem with in the first one is the Mako sequences, just because they're tedious.
Mhm.
But I like the story of the first one. I like the multiplayer of 3, and I like the characters of 2. And yeah, God, just give me that game, man. Just give me that game. Like seriously, man. And give me a different male shepherd voice, please.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Re-record all of male shepherd's voice with my voice.
Nigga. Like his voice, I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, no. Mark Meir must have had pictures of somebody having sex with a donkey or something. That voice.
That shit is not a video game voice.
No.
Not for a main character.
I can't imagine that voice coming out of Mark Meir's mouth, let alone, this model that they had a stand-in for Commander Shepard, let alone a black man. Like, I made a black guy, and he sounds like this. The fuck? I don't want to play Space Clarence Thomas. Get the fuck out of here, yo.
God.
Damn.
Shit.
Well,
Terrence, would you replay it if they do eventually come out with this?
yeah, I like that trilogy. Like, I was a trilogy that I like it. I'm not like over the moon about it, but I actually played all 3 and enjoyed them quite a bit. I want to see an upgraded 1 because I really liked Mass Effect 1.
Mass Effect 1.
Like, I really like Mass Effect 1.
People really do sleep on Mass Effect 1 because they don't like the way it played. But nah, man, like that game, the story is 100% rock solid. And I really like that game, man. I really do.
We'll see. Third. They say third time's the charm. So let's they come out the release. Hopefully, I can actually finish it this time. Gustavo asks, "What game did you put the most hours in, but regret playing?"
If I put a lot of hours into a game, I generally don't regret it because I will stop playing them.
I'll say for me, Fallout 3. I put like a good solid 10 hours into Fallout 3, and that was way more time than I needed to get back to it. I didn't like it. I kept trying. Yeah, everyone told me that it was great, so I'm like, surely something great must happen soon. If I'm going to be playing this game, and after that, I was like, that's enough for me.
Maybe Sekiro, because I ain't never gonna beat that motherfucking game. Not unless they like patched it to make it a little easier. Because again, I can beat hard games, but that one for some reason just irked my nerves. Like I was like, yo, fuck you, yo. I can't. This is no, fuck off. This is too goddamn hard. But then I see people just running through it. I'm like, suck my dick. Like for real. So, but then I put a lot of time into that game. Put like 15, 20 hours into it. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna beat that game. I want to, but I don't think so. So yeah, that's my choice.
We'll wrap it up with Anthony, who said, and this is more for you guys because again, I didn't play it. Who was your go-to skater in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2?
Spider-Man.
Let me see the list because I don't know. Let's see.
And the black dude.
I think Kareem Campbell.
Yeah. No, Spider-Man. Well, that's the answer, you know. That's
Spider-Man unlockable.
Spider-Man skateboarding, you know. First of all, he's the only one that makes sense, doing kick flips and ollies and 720s 45 feet in the air and landing and not breaking every bone in his body. And second of all, it's Spider-Man, yo.
Did they have like appreciably different stats in the game?
They had different specials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they had like special moves that you could pull off. I think I used Kareem Campbell, Bucky Lassick, and Tony Hawk. I think were the three that I use the most for some reason. I don't know why I pick Bucky Lassick all the time. I don't even know what the fuck he is. I think I just liked his special move. Who had the Air Christ move?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't remember who had. Like they would just take the skateboard and they would just like extend their arms out and then bring it back underneath them. I don't remember. But yeah, I know he used Tony Hawk and Kareem Campbell because black.
Yeah, because black. I didn't know who these people were.
Yeah, I still don't know who the fuck they are to this day.
Fucking Bob Burnquist because he had a stupid name.
Sounds like a game show host.
Right. And Kareem Campbell because black, and Spider-Man because Spider-Man. Like I played with Kareem, and I think you had to create a character in order to unlock like Spider-Man and stuff like that.
That was the second one. I don't think you couldn't create a character in the first one, right?
No,
Not that I know.
So. I don't think so.
There's a character that was in these first two games, or I guess it's a real person, named Rune Glifberg. That sounds like the name of a Final Fantasy party member that you never won the party at all. It's not a real name. It's a fake name.
Yeah. A fake fantasy Jewish name. Rune Glifberg.
It's legit.
Danish.
I taped in there he is. He is Danish. He's called the Danish Destroyer. Why the fuck is a skateboarder named the Danish Destroyer? That sounds like a wrestler nickname. Get out of here, Rune Glifberg. So that's it for the show this week. Thank you guys for your questions. Don't forget to join the fan group, denspixels.com/fans on Facebook so that you too can submit questions for the post office every week. Make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, as well as the other TNT Studio shows. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/denspixels. You can see Terrence playing more Power Rangers on his Twitch channel, Apparition 410, and you can check out Terry playing as well on her Twitch channel, Suffix. That is it. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you all.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.